Hello VTubers, Philip here and welcome to part 1 of the First Look series. First Look is where I go into PCM 14 and I take a look at the new things they changed. Part 1 will be concentrated on single player, so let me start up single player. As you see, when you press single player, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options. You can go into a single player career, you can make a standout stage race with no career aspects at all. It's just you going in, playing a stage race and go out. It's really good if you do a YouTube series. Like if you follow my channel for a while, if you do MLC or you do Tour de France to fill away, stage race is the place to go. If you just want to go into a stage and practice your skills, then stage is the way to go. If you want to go and play the Paris-Roubaix or play La Flèche Wallonne or Liège-Bastogne-Liège, then you go into Classic. If you want to practice your track skills, then of course you go onto the track. But first of all, let's take a look at the most important one. It's the career. When you press the career button, you first of all see the screen. Here you will be able to choose your team of your liking. So I'm going to start off with Team Sky. I'm going to pick Team Sky for this episode, for this First Look episode, because they start off with the most amount of money. Team Sky is the wealthiest team in the peloton. So here, first of all, if you want to sort by the teams, you can take a look at all the teams first of all and see who they have. You can see Tinkoff Saxo Bank, which is now Russian owned instead of Denmark or Danish owned, which were the last couple of years. You now see Alberto Contador. You can see his stats. You can see where he's from, what his speciality he's had, what's his average and stuff like that. And you can do that in all the teams to find the team that tailor suits you. But I'm gonna pick Team Sky because they start with the most amount of money, and that's gonna help me in this episode. So first of all, it's going to load the career, it's going to tell you that it's constructing all this stuff, but basically it's just loading the career. So this will be your home page. Up here you'll be able to see your emails. This is where you'll get all the information you'll need during your career. Down here you'll be able to read the emails. For example, I have the preparation of calendar open. So you can now read it and you can see the important periods during the month. Right down here in the right hand corner you have the next race coming up. You can see the profile, you can see the riders you have selected to go into it. You can see the profile of the race, you can see how hilly will it be, will it be a mountain stage, will it be a sprint stage. You can also see the upcoming races like the Tour de St. Louis, Tour Down Under, GP Maasai. You can see all these races down here. Up here you can see if you have a training camp going on or a race going on, but as I just started my career, that's not going on. So let's take a look at the tabs in a chronological order. First of all, we have the manager part. If you press on messages, that's basically like pressing home. If you press up here, press messages, that's basically like going to the home page. If you press on sponsors, you can now take a look at your sponsors and what they want. Of course, Team Sky is sponsored by Sky. First of all, you can see here, you can see how much money you have to spend each year. You have 5,854,992 euros per year, which is quite a lot for a cycling team. Their contract is going to 2016, so you'll be looking for a new contract or trying to extend your contract in 2016. But as you see up here in this right hand corner, you start the game off in 2014. So if you pick Team Sky, you have 3 years or 2 years to make an impact. You can see the sponsor confidence here. That's how good you're doing. You might get fired if you don't give them the results they want. How can you know what results they want? Well, you press the Sky button, and here in the beginning of the year you can set the results you want. You can set the objectives. So first of all, let's press the importance button. This way we sort them in the matter of importance. So we can see that they really want to win the Grand Premio di Lombardia, but you don't think you can do it. Then you can negotiate and you can say I can get top 3 instead. But when you negotiate, you lose money in your budget, because they expect you to do what, like the budget I just said before with 5 million euros, that's expected of you if you can follow all the requirements. But if you can't, like I can't win the Grand Premio di Lombardia, I don't think so. I can get a top 3, that's probably better, but then I lose 30,000 euros per year. Actually per month I think that is. But then, okay, let's take another look. So we see we have the Milan-San Remo. They want me to get top 5. Nah, I can win that. Easily I can win that. Then you gain a certain amount of money. So once you got that done, you receive a message like the 20th of January saying, are you okay with your sponsor objectives? And then you press yes, and you have settled in your sponsor objectives for the rest of the year. Once you get over that date, you cannot change your objectives. So make sure that you put in some thought about these, and if you don't think you can make him, don't do it. You might as well just get it, because getting that sponsor confidence up is so important. You can see here, there are three factors that goes into the sponsor confidence part. There's the results, which are all the race results. There are the registered riders. It's basically Sky demands that Chris Froome, Bradley Wiggins, Ever Buxenhagen goes to the tour. If they don't go to the tour, you lose money or you lose sponsor confidence. They don't think you're the best for the team. And also, last but not least, you have the squad. How is your squad looking? Do you have the riders that's expected for you? You have the most amount of money. Do you also have the best riders in the world? Last but not least, in this tab, you also have the equipment suppliers. It's a new thing added in this year's game, and let's take a look at it. So this basically acts as a secondary sponsors that was in the game in 2012, that they then removed in 2013, but they're now making a comeback into the series, but in another way. So you see, we have 3 contracts, 3 equipment suppliers. We have Frame Pasolo, Wheels Meccano, and Grubsep Meccano. So Cyanide doesn't have the licenses to these equipment, so of course it's not going to be the real life ones, but they're going to be pretty close. So you see, they basically add to your overall budget. Like Frame Pasolo is adding 2 million euros per year, Wheels Meccano is adding 5,000 euros per year, or 500,000, and Grubsep Meccano is adding 860,000 per year. And you can then see the contract. You see they have all these 3 equipment suppliers, their contract are expiring at the end of the year. So at the end of the year, you're going to be looking for another contract, or you're going to be looking to either extend the contract or get a new sponsor. That way you can either get more money or you can lose money that way. Also, you have to pay attention to the full R&D program. If you hover over it, it says what it basically explains what it is. You have access to the full research and development program with Pasolo. You define R&D choices and receive pre-production models on test and then the finished project before their official launch. So basically, research and development is they research new bikes, they find new technology, and you test it out. And it might be good, it might be bad, and it's gonna affect your riders. So that is basically it. You can see that you have full access to Frame Pasolo, you have limited access to the R&D program of Wheels Meccano, and you simply don't have an R&D program at Grubsep Meccano. That is it for the sponsors objective. Now we go to the finances. Here you can follow your finances of the year. Basically every manager game has some sort of money attached to it, and a Pro Cycling Manager, that's no difference. So throughout the year you can see how your money is, how is your finances, how is your economical status doing. Are you going bankrupt? Are you earning a lot of money? Are you becoming the greatest empire in cycling ever? Basically you can see this in this tab. So this year race prices are back, so if you win the Tour de France you actually get money. Last year that wasn't in PCM 13, but it's now in PCM 14. If you win a race you now get money, or you place as well, and of course the more prestigious races will give more money. Last but not least, in the manager tab, you have the national team tab. On the 30th of January, you get to pick a national team. When I pick Team Sky, normally you get offered your manager nationality and you get offered the team nationality. So in this case, I'll probably be offered the Danish nationality and the British nationality. And of course, I'll pick the British nationality because I'm Sky, I'm probably Chris Froome, Bradley Wiggins, and all these guys will win the World Championship. That's how that's looking. Next, we can go into team, which is the next tab, and the first button that comes up is the squad. You'll probably be spending most of your time in here because you're not very good in the race. Like, you're not a good rider or a good manager if you can't control your team. In here, you can take a look and you can browse your team. So I'm gonna sort it by average. You do that by pressing the average button, and of course you can see Chris Froome 82 average. He is probably the best rider in the world right now. Chris Froome. He won the Tour de France last year, and is one of the favorites to win again this year. You can hover over the I button, which basically stands for information. You can see everything you need, or you can press on him and it will show a more detailed version of that information button. Now press the right hand corner to get out of that. So you can check their fitness. The fitness scale this year is from 1 to 6, I believe, where 6 is bad fitness and 1 is very good fitness. You're going to try to put their training plan according to what objectives they have. So if Chris Froome wants to win the Tour de France, try to get him into 1 fitness at the Tour de France. Next, we have the days raced. Riders get fatigued. Like, they're humans, we're all humans, we get tired. And if they ride too many races, they get tired, and their chances of getting ill gets higher, their chance of getting injured gets higher, so watch out with having too many days raced. Next, you have their age. At one point, people will decline. In here, they're not, like, you can check the ages. Probably the decline age for most people are going to be 32, 33 years of age. So you see Chris Froome probably still has like 5 years left, 6 years left. And last but not least, contract till. When does their contract end? Do you have to extend their contract, or are you going to look to buy another rider? So Chris Froome's contract will end in 2014, which is this year, this season. So at the end of the season, look to see if you can't extend his contract, because otherwise you're going to be in difficulties. Next is basically attributes, which I explained before. You can press on them, you can see it, but you can also go in here and then you can search by specific stats to see how well your team is actually doing in all the different stats. Next, you have the contract. You can see how much money they're making, how much money they're taking away from you, and where they'll be next season. So here you can see all these guys don't have a contract for next season, and you'll be looking to either give them a contract or let them go. Next of all, we have injuries. This year in PCM 14, Cyanide added injuries, or at least they made it more realistic. So now you're gonna see a lot more injuries. You're gonna see people being out when they crash, they get injured, and they're gonna be out for a longer time. But now you can actually race them when they're injured, but you're not 100% sure they'll not get injured again. Like when you ride someone with half an injury, that half an injury might become a full injury. So watch out when you're doing that. Next off, we have the season. Here you can see how they're doing in the rankings. You can see that currently they're at which race. You can see how many victories they've had through the season, and you can see where they're at in the Sire World Tour rankings. Next, we have the fitness. You can see their fitness. It's mediocre. It's bad, mediocre, average, good, very good, excellent. I think the scale goes to where excellent is the best, and bad is not that good at all, which the name or the word basically implies. Next, we have tiredness, and if they have rode, like I said before with the race days, if they have a lot of race days, they will be tired and they won't perform as well. And here you can see where they're at. So if they're really tired, they won't perform as well. Also, another thing they added last year was rhythm. So, you see in the real life, if you want to ride the Tour de France, you'll ride the Critérium du Dauphiné or you ride the Tour de Suisse. And if you haven't done that, your rhythm won't be as good. You're riding yourself into form, and that's why you're going to one of those two races. If you haven't gone to one of those two races, your rhythm won't be good. So make sure if you have an objective coming up, have your guy just ride his way into form in another race to get his rhythm up. Last but not least, we also have freshness. And here, it basically corresponds with tiredness. If they have high tiredness, they have low freshness. So these are basically opposites. So watch out for that. Next, we have trainers. If you have, like, you can in this game you can buy trainers, and if you're controlling Team Sky, you can probably have 3 trainers, but the game automatically starts you with 2 trainers. So here you can say, Phil Diamond, I want you to have Conrad as a trainer, and all depending on what the trainer's specialty is, they will progress more throughout the year. Next tab, we have the schedule button. Here you can schedule, or here you can see the calendar. You can submit for races, like you can ask for a request to go to the race. So GP Mediterranean, I want to go there. So I asked for an invitation, and now it's a green question mark, and after a while they will come back to me and say, basically, here you go, you've been allowed to come to the race. Or if you're a smaller team, they'll say, no, you don't really have the money to come to this race, we won't allow you. And the deadline for any changes to the race period is the 10th of January. I think it's every 3 months you have to set your calendar. Yes, it's every 3 months you have to do it. So once you've asked for invitations and you've gotten or declined them, then you have to wait another 3 months to set up the next calendar or before the next deadline. So you have to set your calendar in advance. You have to know where your riders will be going. So I spoke before about a fitness schedule, about having riders peak at certain locations. This might seem very, very confusing to you, but don't worry, just sit back, open up a beer, and get ready to understand this. So over here you see the individual schedule. This is where they want to peak. Like we have Baswell, he's slowly riding into form. Green means he's in good form, while red means he's in bad form. So a guy like Ian Baswell, I would probably think about bringing him to Ruta del Solis, or basically Tour de San Luis. So you press this, you drag it down, and you drag it onto his name. So right now he's scheduled to go to Tour de San Luis, and you basically do this with everybody. To make this easier, there's a tab called Group. You can group riders into different groups. So I do not have a group yet. So let's first of all start off by making a group. I would like to make a group called TDF. This is a team that's gonna go to the TDF. So I'm gonna call TDF. I'm gonna press the 1 button, and I'm gonna make it a yellow icon because we're going for that yellow jersey in the Tour de France. So now I can drag this on to all the riders I believe I want it. So let's find these guys. I want Chris Froome to have it. Chris Froome is gonna get the yellow jersey in the Tour de France. I want him to be in that squad. I want let's find Joel Thomas. I want him to be in as well. I also want Bradley Wiggins to go, and so on. Then you can make different groups. You can go into here again, and it's gonna be a lot easier because you can sort them by groups. So you see, I only want to see these guys, and now I can set up the schedule for these 9 riders that will be here, so they all peak at the Tour de France. Play around with that, it's going to be very important. Here you can see your staff. You start off with 2 trainers, but you can hire new staff. You can look at their reputation and how much salary they want, and the specialization. I can't even say that right now, sorry. It's been 15 minutes into the video and it gets tough to speak like this. But you also have scouts, you can buy more of those, and you can also buy more doctors. Here you can see how good they are on the different stats, like If you give Jeff Jernan is pretty good at hills. He's pretty good at having people progress in hills. He's also pretty good at progressing people in mountain. So of course you'll be looking to find your punchier riders like Geraint Thomas. These guys, you want to give them this guy. Also, you can release them. Like I don't want Quinn Conrad. I don't think he's good enough. You can then release him, and it says, "Are you sure you want to release him?" Yes. And then you give some air in your budget, but just bear in mind, if you put too many guys with the same trainer, then the outcome won't be as effective if you had 3 trainers with different people. Next, you have scouts. Basically, this guy, you can send him out, look for young talents you like on your team, and basically the future of your team starts right here. And before, I mentioned that injuries were very common this year, so look to have like 2 doctors this year. You need them a lot, because riders are going to be injured, and if Chris Froome gets injured up to the Tour de France, you won't be having a good season. You have to wait for the next season, and that's no fun. You want to do good every season. Next, we have training camps. Some people might consider this doping in PCM, because Cyanide would never add doping. But some people think training camps, it's dope. Because what training camps do is you send your riders to a training camp. It basically takes like 3 to 4 days. I can show you. So I want to scout the Tour de France. So stage monitor, we can monitor stage 11 and stage 13. Let's book it. I want it. And now I can then find my group that I made before. So it was basically Wiggins, it was Froome, and so on. I can find my TDF group, I can then confirm, and then I can pick wherever I want it. So let's find it. I'm gonna say I want it right here. Like these guys won't be going to the Tour de France, so I want it right here. Confirm. And at least I need 4 riders. Let's just do this, I guess. Confirm. So, when they come out of this training camp, when they're done with this training camp, they get a boosted amount of stats. So they get like +2, +3 in every stat. And that is kind of considered doping in the PCM community. But that's a good way to make sure your riders will be in the best possible shape for the Tour de France or whatever race you're going for. You can also monitor the riders. So when they're at the training camp, you can see what kind of impact it has. Down here, you can see that Richie Porte is having a great impact if he's going there. As the training camp hasn't started yet, it hasn't had an impact yet on him, so they'll just say none. Nothing has happened so far. You can see effectiveness, like it's the season effectiveness. The status, is it going on, is it done, is it finished? But currently it's just programmed. Next tab is the equipment tab. This is where you'll need your research and development. I spoke before in the sponsors, I compared them to secondary sponsors, but here's the fact, or here's the difference from secondary sponsors. Secondary sponsors didn't really have an impact on your gameplay. Here, equipment does. So, now we want to be looking into some research and development. So, the only team that allowed us to do some research was Pasolo. So, now we'll be looking at these 3 equipments. We have 3 different equipments from Pasolo, and what do we want to improve? And it looks like Dogma 65.1 thing is doing really good. It's got 1.5 in aerodynamics, 3 in lightness, and 1 in comfort. It's pretty good. Reliability is very good, and feeling is excellent. But I feel like I want to improve this. This year, the stats and equipment goes from 1 to 5 and everything. Aerodynamics is how good you're doing on flat, lightness is how good you're doing in mountains, and comfort is how you're doing in cobblestones. So I really want to improve this. I want to improve this. I want to have the best possible equipment. So you go down here, you say I want the 65 thing, and we can't do, we can only do minor changes right now. We can't do major changes because we need to be longer into the season, or we need to be further into the season before we can make major changes. But currently, we can make minor changes. So I'll be doing that. I will start research development, and they'll come back to me the 21st of January to tell me, how is this research doing? Have they improved this equipment, or have they made it worse? That's a worst case scenario is they accidentally messed up something and they can't get back to it. But best case scenario is you go up in 2 stars and everything, and you just have a great piece of equipment. Here you also have wheels. You can just see your wheels, and it also tells you that actually it doesn't tell you here, it did before, but it says that you have access to the limited research of your wheels, so you'll receive new models, but you can't request them yourself. So since your wheels sponsor was only a limited research development, they will do the research for you, but you can't request anything. Next, we have the scouting. I said before that this was the basis of your career. If you want any young stars, this is how you do it. So we see our sponsor, Michael Woolman, is pretty good in classics. So we look for a place that's focused on classics. So you can do this, and you can basically just hover over every single dot and see if you can find the right thing you want. But I'm just going to go to United Kingdom because I'm a British team and I'm going to be looking for a good one. So I'm going to send this guy to United Kingdom, and over time, he will give you reports. So you'll show up with different people like different talents that he thinks is fit for the team, and then you can scout them or you can sponsor them and stuff like that. So they'd be more likely to go to your team in case they're good. When you first find them, they have question marks in every stat. You don't know how good they are before you go into in-depth scouting on all these riders. And here, once again, you can recall your scout. If you're not happy with what he sees in United Kingdom, you can recall him. Next, oh, it won't even go there. Next, we have the objectives, and it's basically here, this is the fitness curve. This is the fitness curve for every team, or for every rider. So, this looks very confusing. I might add that to you, but this is basically where they will peak during the season. So, once again, let's take a look at Chris Froome. Chris Froome is down here. He'll peak in July and August. He will go for the Tour de France. It's the most important one for him, with Liège-Bastogne-Liège. So, as you see over here, the interest in peaking at the Tour de France is very high. It's a full green bar. He really wants to go to the Tour de France. It's got a 2-star rating because the sponsors want us to do good there. The sponsors has a 2-star rating because they want us to do good in that objective. You can change this though. You can remove these and you can add more. You can add other objectives. So you can go up here and you can find other sponsor objectives. And I say I want him to go to the Giro d'Italia as well. So when you add the Giro d'Italia, it changes the fitness curve. And you can see in the beginning of the year, Chris Froome won't do anything. But then the Giro d'Italia comes around and he'll go to that. Then the Giro d'Italia ends and he'll relax a bit. Then he'll go up. Then he'll peak again for the Tour de France. And then you see after the Tour de France, he has this red line coming up here. This is where he would be if he was at full freshness, no tiredness. But as another human being, Froome also gets tired. And at the end of the season, he's gonna get tired. This is where he would be at if you hadn't ridden all those races. But this is where he will be at because he's so tired. So you have to do this for every single rider that matters to you. It might look confusing, but just take a few step backs and drink another sip of your beer that you opened before, and just get ready to do this, because this is very important for your race. You want your riders to peak at the right times. And here you can see how good everyone did at all the different races. You can see the World Championships coming up, which riders are you bringing, or which one are you interested in bringing, and stuff like that. And you can also see what your sponsors want you to do in those races. So, next up we have the results tab. Basically is what it says. It's the results. You can go up here, and I'm currently on the latest results, but as I just started the career, there are no results yet. You have to make them yourself. But here the latest result will come up, and you can just sort through the different results and check and take a look at how you did during the season. Next of all, we have standings. So this is where you'll be able to check the overall standings, individual Sire World Tour, the Team World Tour, and the World Tour. You can change this, and you can go down to checking the Continental Tour, the Super Prestige Tour, and the victories, the overall victories, and it counts everyone. But it's very important, if you're a World Tour team, then you are placed very well in the Sire World Tour. This is where you'll make sure that you do not get relegated down to the Continental Tour, because if you get relegated, you'll have a tough time convincing your sponsors that you are the right man for the job, and you might risk getting fired. Next, we have the under 23 rankings. So, as I said before, the young guys are the basis of your future. You gotta make sure they do good. So also, under 23, you can scout these guys. So during the seasons, the under 23 guys will be riding races, and you can go in here and you can check how good they're doing and which guy seems promising and who you might be interested in picking up for the next season. Because it's not only scouts that can find good riders, you can also find them yourselves. Okay, next we have the archives, which is basically you can check every season of every race. So let's go back a few years. In 2007, Alberto Contador won the Tour de France in front of Cadel Evans and Levi Leipower. So this is if you're a history nerd, like some of us might be in cycling. It's like, wait, who won in 2008? Wait, Cyanide! And Pro Cycling Manager can check that for me. So you go in here and you can check the different races. This is the Giro d'Italia, all the Grand Tours, I think. Yeah, the different Grand Tours. You can check the Giro d'Italia, won last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, just like this. You can check the season stats, how good you did in the different things, who's doing good, who got top 3 in the Tour, top 3 in the Vuelta a España, and top 3 in the Giro d'Italia. It's basically what it is. And here you can see the different records. This is where you want to be at. You want to make your mark in your career, get the furthest possible, and get onto this record pace. You want to beat Eddie Merckx, you want to beat Miguel Indurain, you want to beat all these guys on here. That's just going to be the most fun. Here, you can see the different achievements you can get. Like, you want to win what's it called? Like, this is basically, let's go find one that makes sense. You can, like, the Super Giro d'Italia and the Tour Double. This is for the guys who's won both the Giro d'Italia and the Tour de France in the same year. This is achievements giving out to the riders during the year, and this is also something you can go for or aim for. And then at the end of the year, you have the Velo d'Or, basically the rider of the year, who's been the most impressive rider of the year, and this is where Cyanide gives it out. And last but not least, we have rules. So it basically explains to you how the different divisions goes. Basically, Sire World Tour is the top 18 best teams in the world. The last 2 teams in the Sire World Tour gets relegated down to the Continental Pro Tour. The top 2 teams of Continental Pro Tour gets promoted up to the Sire World Tour. The 2 last teams in the Continental Pro Tour gets relegated into the Continental Tour. The top 2 teams of the Continental team gets promoted into Continental Pro Tour. It basically works like football with leagues and stuff like that. But you can go in here and you can read it. You can stop the video if you want to read it on my video. Then you have the races. It's basically explaining how everything works in the races. And last we have the scales. How many points you get for the different things. Like you get 600 Super Prestige points by winning the Tour de France. You get 200 World Tour points by winning the Tour de France. And of course that's different for every race, because not every race is going to have the same field. Now, last but not, the last tab we have here, it's the World tab. Here you can look at riders that don't have a contract. You can look to buy new riders. If you're thinking that a guy is doing really good during the season, like let's say Fabian Cancellara is doing very good, and at the end of the season, you'll be able to contact him here, and you can maybe bring Fabian Cancellara to your team. That's how you improve your team. Next, we have the shortlist. You can add riders to the shortlist. Let me just show you how you do that. You go on this guy, and you press, like, let's say I want this guy. Actually, I'm not even sure how you do that. I'm pretty sure it's like add to shortlist somewhere. Search. Actually, I'm kind of. Oh no, is it here? I am not certain how you add someone to a shortlist. I'm sorry about that, but you have to play around with the game. Oh, here it is. Here it is. You go to rider data and you press shortlist. That way, Brett Lancaster. Oh, I cannot contact him yet. This is the way you contact him, but you cannot contact him yet, as there are UCI rules stating that you can only contact rider from like end of August to December, I think that is. But now I can go to my shortlist and we see that Brett Lancaster is here, and we can follow how he's doing throughout the year. Next, we have the transfers. At the end of the season, you'll be able to catch up on the other teams and who they bought and who they sold. Next, we have the Infirmary, which is basically all the riders who are injured will show up on here. You'll see how long they've been injured, what their problem is, and when they will be recovered. Like when their estimated day of arrival is, basically when will they come back to the world of cycling. Next, we have the teams, and it's basically just an overall view of all the teams. And that is it for this, that's it for the, actually no, we have one last thing. Let's take a look at the interface. Up here you can see important dates. If you press, or if you just hover over January 2014, you'll see the important dates. Like the 2nd of January, you have to do some research and development program with Pasolo. Your confirmation of rider objects is the 6th of January. Basically all the things here, this is the new calendar. Basically the old calendar was at the bottom, and Cyanide didn't think that looked too good, so they now moved it up here, and I like this. Also, they added a very nice button saying simulate to the end of the season. So if you don't feel like playing the very first season of your race or of your career, just simulate to the end of the season. But if you want to simulate to a certain event, let's say I want to simulate to Ruta del Solís, which is basically the Tour of San Luis. I just press that go button or the play button, and now we're just going to go there. So in case we get any important dates or any important news, the game is going to stop it for us. It's just going to tell us that we have some important things coming up, like this: some matters require your attention, and confirmation of rider objectives is here. So I have to confirm that all my riders are going to the races they want, they're targeting the right races, and that's it. So you're going to get interrupted when you have an important message that you need to attend. So that is basically it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this episode. This is part 1 of part 2. Part 2 will be it'll be around multiplayer, Armada, and all that. This was basically the single player, how it worked, and I will show you in the next episode how multiplayer works. Please leave a like, please subscribe if you like my PCM14 content. If you have any questions regarding anything I said in this career video, please ask it in the comment section below. I will answer it as fast as possible. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great time playing this awesome game. So far, I'm having a lot of fun.